Welcome to show number 932, this 13th day of March. I'm Todd Cochran, your host. Strap in. Here it comes.
All right, people, I need a go, no-go for the Geek News Central podcast. Digital archive recorders.
We're go fly.
Microphone.
We're go fly.
Video feed.
Go.
Web browser.
Go.
RSS data stream aggregator.
Go fly.
Interflux Toddism suppressor.
All right. I'm confused.
Host readiness check.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
The Geek News Central podcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go. Cue Todd in
5,
Button, who's got the button?
4,
There is no cause for alarm.
3,
Everybody hold on to something.
2,
Just press the button.
1.
Hey everyone, welcome to Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran. I got a great show lined up for you today. I want to give a warm welcome to all of the longtime listeners and viewers of the show, those of you that are part of our extended Ohana. Of course, here in Hawaii, Ohana means family. So if you're brand new to the show, I want to welcome you to the Ohana and really just grab a chair. If you're on the treadmill, if you're on the train, if you're on the bus, if you are just in your car rolling down the road, if you're listening or watching, doesn't matter. If you are watching while rolling down the road, be careful. But thanks for being here, and I got a great show lined up for you tonight. Went back to the L Standard video intro because I just couldn't get my thumb straight pushing the right buttons when it came to launching the audio one that I was doing. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to put together a new video intro. The one we've been using for a number of years has been great, put together by a audience member of the show, but maybe just time. As a matter of fact, that's not an HD version, it's an SD version of the intro, so maybe we can come up with something. But hey, again, a warm welcome to everyone, and of course, we want to encourage you to get over to geeknewscentral.com, and lots going on underneath the hood. You don't see it yet, but we are well underway and getting ready to make the transition to the new website. But lots to share, basically right there at Geek News Central. A lot of great content from our writers, and of course, content from our podcasters, the part of our team here at GNC as well, with the special media events, the new media show, Gadget Professor, Robot Underpants. Of course, we want to make sure you get subscribed to all those shows. You can find that right there in the second column of the website, as well as sign up for the newsletter. The newsletter really has everything that I'm going to cover during the show tonight, and gets in your inbox immediately following the show. You can reach out real easily on the show by tweeting me at Geek News, or you can email me here, geeknews@gmail.com. That's a great way to stay abreast or keep me abreast of what's going on with you and share things. You can do it on our Google Plus page, on Facebook. Really just fire me wherever you can. Email is always the best, so we encourage you to use that where you can. Of course, we're no longer using GNCShowNotes.com. The show notes are back on Geek News Central permanently, we think. And so all the show notes are directly on the webpage. And we definitely want to encourage you to come over and visit the website. And I still haven't gotten a lot of feedback. A few of you figured out what I've been doing with the show notes. But at some point, someone's going to say, hey, so if you haven't noticed, take a peek and listen. Hey, also, you can watch the show on the Tech Podcast channel, the Roku and the Boxee, Google TV. Kick back and watch the show. I don't know if you necessarily want to watch me for an hour and 15 minutes, but be surfing the web, and you can look up from time to time when things are going on that you want to take a look what's happening here. So, of course, I want to thank our sponsors of the show. And, I've been offering now a brand new product. And it's my own product. It's a product that my team has put together, and it's media hosting for your podcast. And if you are podcasting, we want you to come work with us. We want you to host your media. We want to get you stats, and you can do that by using promo code Geek News when you check out. Again, we're not offering any blogs or anything like that. We're just providing the media hosting place to make sure that your website stays up. And of course, your website, we want that over at GoDaddy.com. And again, GoDaddy is one of our longtime sponsors here at the show. And really, that's the place to go have your point of presence for your podcast. Have a .com, get it set up, get a WordPress site put in there, get PowerPress installed, really, and then you have world-class media hosting, web hosting, for for your blog. And of course, Geek News Central, as you guys see the website here running WordPress, it's on a GoDaddy a server. But GoDaddy has got some great deals. And we've been digging through the weeds to find all the codes that are still valid. We've had a number of, every month we have some new offers. But what I've been trying to do is make sure that all of the offers have been up on the website. And I think it's critical to be able to share those with you guys. And let me take that down here real quick. But kind of reformatted the page a little bit today with all the different promo codes that we have available with GoDaddy. And I basically have everyone that I could find that was still active. There's a plethora of codes to choose from, whether it be a 32% off code, whether it be a 20% code you can use on renewals, whether it's $1.99 economy hosting, whether it's 50% off a new hosting plan with a free domain, whether it's 50% off first 12 months of business website builder, whether it's a $295.com, or it's even 10% off the new Get Found product that we've talked about on the last show. Really, there's stuff there for everyone. And then there's some promo codes that are expiring with some cash off on your orders and so forth. So definitely get over to my website at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy, and you're going to be able to really take advantage of the best deal that we have available for you at any given time. And I think it's important to be able to really, make a lot of offers available so that you guys can mix and match your orders as needed to save, the most amount of cash. You buy a .com on one order, you go and buy your hosting plan on another, or if you've already got a .com to go along with it, or you just buy a hosting plan and you get a .com. So it's real and critical that you actually click on the links, because that locks in the offer. And when you go over to the website, it's basically going to show up. So, for example, if I just, let's bring the website back up. For those of you that are listening, all I'm doing is I'm clicking on the 15% off your order. And this is working on the new top-level domains too. It says right at the very top, special offer, save 15% on new products at GoDaddy. And then it actually talks about the offer limitations and what the code works for and what it doesn't. So pay attention to those offer limitations as well. And once you've got that, you're locked in, you're good, and you can go through and do your shopping, and that promo code will be locked in. But if you get to the checkout counter and you're saying, let's see if I can try one of Todd's other codes, you can kind of mix and match. And the promo code is actually on the webpage, real easy to see now in a single column. So definitely try all those codes out over at GoDaddy. We want to thank GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here. They have done a great job in bringing some just absolutely fantastic deals to the table for all of you to enjoy. And again, I want to thank GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here. Definitely check all their products and services out, and we want to thank them for their continued support. All right, let's get into my stack here. I've got a short stack tonight. Big things going on here at the Cochran household. My son, who is a junior in high school in Hawaii, schools get out about the 22nd, 23rd, 24th of May, somewhere right in there. And it's prom time here in Hawaii. This coming weekend, it's the juniors in this high school that he goes to, the junior prom. And when I went to high school, it was one combined deal, juniors and seniors together. But the schools are so large, 600, 700, 800 students per class. They're having the junior prom tomorrow. So we picked up the tuxedo and everything that he's wearing, and did the fit and make sure everything was good. So we will be driving because he doesn't have his driver's license yet. So we'll be my wife and I will be, and when I was in high school, I had my driver's license already had a vehicle. No one was driving me to prom, but we'll be driving them to prom, dropping them off, and then my wife and I are going to sneak and have a nice dinner and kind of hang out, and we'll wait till prom finishes, and then we'll drive them home. So it'll be a long evening tomorrow for the wife and I, but we'll have a lot of fun. And then the following weekend, it's my daughter's senior prom. You guys know how that all goes, but prom season here at the Cochran household. Hey, I put a call out on the last show where, and actually we've started to fill the writers that I'm looking for. I'm working on a new project to do a podcasting news site, and not going to go into too much details about that. We'll probably be ready to go in the next week to 10 days. to launch that, and it'll be a public-facing website. So I'm looking forward to being able to getting that online, and we'll talk more about that later. Also, I want to thank all of you that have become insiders. We're starting to see a few more people pick up insider support, and we definitely appreciate those at geeknewscentral.com/insider. This week has really been, it's been crazy. I get up pretty early. I answer the phone for a couple of hours, take the kids to school, go about my business throughout the day, but it's just been really a pretty crazy week from a phone ringing, email, and stuff. And geez, I told my daughter, I said, being that you're graduating soon, maybe we can put you to work. And if nothing else, just answer the phone when Dad's not available during the day, and make that happen. And so she's kind of weighing those options as a little part-time job working for me and for this, for Podcast Connect, what's here underneath Geek News Central. But so anyway, it's been kind of crazy week, just putting out fires and really burning the candle on both ends early in the morning till late at night. But it's been a good week. Can't complain. We got to make hay when the sun shines. Also, what else has been going on? Hey, this new media show Saturday, we're going to have Cliff Ravenscraft on. Many of you probably have heard of Cliff. He does the podcast Answer Man series. So we'll have him on. Rob and I'll have him on this coming Saturday. So look forward to talking with Cliff. So we start at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern. So if you want to join us, come in and watch on Saturday. All right, that's going to wrap me up for just the regular chit-chat stuff. I want to get into the content here. I got a stack of stuff to go through. Let me save and close that, and close this, minimize that, and we'll get the right page up. Oh, come on now. Don't even try to do this to me. Okay, why are you? Okay. Whew, I thought Chrome was going to crash. Clicking a button and nothing was happening. So what I want to start out with tonight is, it was all over the news today, and it was a big publicity thing. Mark Zuckerberg has called the president. And, I wonder how that goes. You're a rich guy. You want to call and complain and whine to the president. So, what do? You put a call into the switchboard, or if you got a private number, or, how does, I don't even know how that works. It's just like, I'm sure the elitists and those that are rich and have status in the country probably have, access to the, frontline people that you would need to get through to the president. But Mark Zuckerberg says, I called the president to express my frustration over the damage the government is creating for all of our future. And I'm sure he used a strong tone, but basically complaining and talking about stuff that the government's doing and a variety of different levels. He says, U.S. government should be the champion for the internet, not a threat. They need to be more transparent about what they're doing, or otherwise people will believe the worst. And this is kind of in response, I guess, to a accusation that, the government agency that's been in the news a lot lately was basically doing some sort of tricks or whatever to trick people into thinking they were on Facebook when they weren't. But long story short, it was very quickly, and I don't know if it's because that Mr. Zuckerberg called the president. Maybe the president called the boss over there at that agency, but that agency has come out and denied Facebook snooping, which is interesting that they've very basically said that they are not doing what they were accused of doing. And, of course, a lot of people have responded to that with a kind of roll of the eyes and thinking, okay, that's, good press play here. But, it's kind of ironic, because what is Zuckerberg doing with Facebook? He's spying on us. He's building case studies. He's building information and profiles about the people that use Facebook. They're selling ads to you. They're trying to figure out who and what and where we are, and, sexual preference, if you're married, if you're single, you're young, you're old, all that stuff, they're doing it, and it's under the guise of, of marketing. So it is kind of funny here. There's targeted ads that they put on Facebook, and in Facebook's gathering information and probably selling that information too. So, he put a big post up on his website, and I'm not even going to link to it, but, I don't know. Do you really think him calling the president is going to make things change? Does he really think that's going to happen? I'm just kind of I'm playing devil's advocate here for you guys. Let's really think about it. Do you think his phone call will make a difference, or is it just basically grandstanding where he gets up and says, "Oh, hey, I called the president and I expressed my frustration to him," and so I know these companies have to be pissed by everything that's been in the news. And I have no idea the truth or I specifically try to stay away from a lot of that coverage. But I tell you, it's an interesting thing where he notes that the U.S. government has become a threat to the internet. And I think that's a pretty bold statement. I think we're all still surfing the web. We're still getting our email. We're still being able to put stuff on YouTube. So is it alarmist, or are you guys on board with what Zuckerberg's saying? Do you think that the government's a threat to the internet? I think that's a stretch. I really do. Some people may not think that. The conspiracy theorists out there might be saying, "Oh my God, it's, I don't know." I'd love to hear what you guys think, though. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts process. Tell me if I'm wrong. Please email me, geeknews@gmail.com. You guys know I pretty much bleed red, white, and blue. You guys know I spent many, many years in the Navy, and it's I consider myself a very strong supporter of the United States and the Constitution and everything goes along with it. So, what do you guys think? And I know some of you guys say, "Well, the Constitution says this, but they're doing that," and Bill of Rights says this, and they're doing that, and I know there's a lot of crazy stuff going on out there, but I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. And really, pick up your keyboards, or get over on the website at geeknewscentral.com. It's real easy. And if you scroll down the page on the website, there's a link here that says "Send GNC a voice message." So click on that, and it'll load a page. If I'm clicked on it, and maybe it'll load. It's trying. Something's happening. Oh boy, that's wonderful. Okay, Shockwave quit working for a few minutes. So there it goes. The page finally loaded. And all you got to do is, if you have a microphone, you just press start recording and you can send me a message. But there's a link on the website on how to do that. So definitely give it a shot. And I'd really love to hear from you guys on what you think. But I just, if you're going to call, if you are a business owner, and you've got the ability to call the president, aren't you just going to call them quietly and make your thoughts known and not do a big PR thing where it's big public posting and it's almost a little bit of boasting? Is it really going to calm the masses on anything? I don't know. But to me, it looked a little bit more about PR and grandstanding than actually trying to suggest change. And maybe I'm wrong on this, but love to hear you guys' thoughts. So anyway, link will be up in the show notes. You guys can ping me back, tell me if I'm totally screwed up or if I'm right or what. Let's get a little commentary going in here with with the topics of the show, and so that you guys can become a larger participant in this podcast. Now, over on Gizmodo, they've got this article up right now that they did a little study. And, we are all becoming very sensitive to what's going on with our data. But surprise, 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 according to Gizmodo, phone metadata gives away the most secrets of your secrets. And so they did a study, and they found out some crazy stuff here. A study by Jonathan Mayer and Patrick Muchler of Stanford probed data from 546 volunteers to ascertain the limits of just what can be found from metadata within the phones. So the results reveal a rich stream of information. The participants gave up their phone's metadata via a special app, along with publicly available information from their Facebook profile. Then the researchers set to work digging through it all to find out as much as they could. So one participant in the study communicated with multiple local neurology groups, a specialty pharmacy, a rare condition management service, and a hotline for pharmaceutical use solely to treat relapsing multiple sclerosis. Another had a long morning call with her sister. 2 days later, she placed a series of calls to the local Planned Parenthood location. She placed brief additional calls 2 weeks later and made a final call a month later. So was she pregnant? And what was she planning to do with the child? It's pretty scary stuff, right? Should be nobody's doggone business. Another contacted a home improvement store, locksmith, a hydroponics dealer, and a head shop, while a fourth placed a number of calls to a firearms store that specializes in AR semi-automatic rifle platform. They also spoke at length with customer service for a firearm manufacturer that produces an AR line. So these are just small anecdotes of what they found in all their participants over a 3-month period. 30% contacted a pharmacy, 10% called a recruiting service, 8% got in touch with a religious institution. In other words, the researchers knew exactly what everyone was up to. So here's what this guy said. The take-home is perhaps best summed up by Mayer himself. Reasonable minds can disagree about the policy and legal constraints that should be imposed on those databases, he writes. The science, however, is clear. Phone metadata is highly sensitive. So if you're making phone calls and, it's the phone companies have that data, right? It's not like it's going anywhere. That data is, being registered by the phone company. A lot of data going in here between here. It's going over your, local cable wires or over Verizon's information lines. All that's just from your phone. That's not talking about you're using your laptop, your desktop search, and what you're looking for. And so, it doesn't appear to me to be very difficult for someone to know you, maybe better than what your wife or girlfriend, boyfriend may know. And it's part of the digital landscape. Do you like it? Does it scare the living crap out of you? Do you think it's time to go off the grid? Where do you fall on this one? Or is it the price we pay to live in the digital world that we live in today? So we know the marketeers. I've told you guys the story many, many times. And Chris, my youngest son, I was still in the Navy. My wife suspected that we were expecting. She went to an on-base store. Had bought a pregnancy test kit, brought it home. We tested in the morning, turned positive. So I made an appointment for her to go to get, the official results so she could get on prescriptions and get, set up into the system. And she went to the hospital, had the pregnancy test there, the doctor, and, he got the neonatal vitamins and all the stuff that, a pregnant woman would be getting. And then within about 7 to 10 days, we received in the mail a magazine from Parenting that said, congratulations, the Cochrans. There was this thing on the front of it that they knew that we were pregnant. And we're pretty sure that we paid cash for the pregnancy test kit out of the little shopping thing we went to that was on base. But the only place that information was even at the military hospital. So someone was selling that data, and Parenting Magazine knew that we were expecting, and we were out of the baby making business for quite a while. There was quite the essentially 6 years spread between kids. So someone knew, someone gave it up, and that was just through a purchase, a prescription that was filled on base, and a pregnancy. And so we really didn't even use commercial. So imagine what happens when you go out and use someone at go to your pharmacy and you use your CVS card or whatever it is to pay for some stuff you bought. You buy that pregnancy test kit and you get a discount on your CVS card. They immediately know, hey, maybe they're pregnant. So it's just a small tip of the iceberg here. And for the folks that are freaking out about this, they have to be like totally like wanting to go off the grid. But I'm going to keep my cell phone connected. In all reality, we all live pretty boring lives. I'm pretty, in the scheme of things, I feel I live a pretty boring life. I really do. All right, so let's switch gears here. Bill Gates did an interview. He says people don't realize how many jobs will be soon replaced by software bots. Big changes are coming to the labor market that people and governments aren't prepared for, Bill Gates believes. Speaking at Washington, D.C. economic think tank, the American Enterprise Institute, on Thursday, Gates said within 20 years, a lot of jobs will go away, replaced by software automation bots. In the tech slang, though, Gates used the term software substitution. So, there's certain things are going to be definitely replaced. 20 years, we're probably going to have tech support's going to be answered by robots instead of people. The artificial intelligence will get to a point where technical support can probably be done better by a robot and build up a library of information. This could be a whole bunch of stuff that's going away. And here's what I'm, thinking is as we move into, really we're 25 years of the internet, and we move into the next 25 years of the internet. I think we all have to make sure that we keep our skill sets up so that as the economy changes, that we can move into those better jobs that are going to be still available, that aren't replaced by software. So we'll see where it goes, but I think he's right. I think things over the next 20 years are going to change dramatically on the job front. Now, I thought I'd heard, switching to this next article, and this is over on torrentfreak.com. I thought that I had heard about this before, but it was just published today. So a little deja vu on my part. And, I look at so much stuff on the web from a news standpoint and reading about the technology and everything that's going on that sometimes I swear I saw this before, but the folks over at Automatic, now Automatic is a company behind WordPress, has spoken today about how the DMCA process is being manipulated to stifle freedom of expression. And they appeared at a House Judiciary Subcommittee hearing on the limitations of copyright liability for online service providers. So the blogging platform called for clear legal consequences for those who abuse the system. Now, Automatic is a company who you guys are, if you've come to my website today, you're using a WordPress product that is, on a WordPress site that is basically owned by Automatic. The site's mine, but you guys know how that works. But here's the deal. WordPress hosts 48 million sites on WordPress.com alone. That isn't call even the independent people like me that have my own site. In servicing 400 million visitors, accessing 13.1 billion pages each month is pretty incredible. And with so much user-generated content on board, it's obvious the company is a keen interest in DMCA because they probably get a lot of these. And basically, they're saying we are seeing an increased amount of abuse of the DMC takedown process. And this is from Automatic. They're saying the DMC takedown process provides what can be an easy avenue for censorship. Simply send in a DMC notice claiming copyrights and pieces of content that you don't agree with, regardless of whether you own the copyright. The service provider that hosts the content must take it down or risk being called out of compliance with DMCA. And he went on to detail several cases where the DMCA had been abused to stifle speech, including one elaborate scam in which someone tried to undermine the work of a science journalist by copying the work, backdating it, and claiming copyright in order to take down the original content. All the journalists filed a countersuit or counter notice. It took a full 10 days, mandated by the DMCA, to get it back online. And it was obviously someone that had a agenda. So Automatic wants punishments, heavy punishments for people that are doing these fake DMCA takedowns. The DMCA, as we all know, is can get my site shut down, can get my YouTube page shut down. So I'm real careful now. I don't play videos on my podcast anymore. I'm very scared of doing any audio clips or having audio in the background. You know, we had one of our interviews at CES. It was flagged because there was music in the background. We were doing the interview, but the music made it through the microphone and onto the recording. Even though it was very faint, it still got flagged. And could I prevent that? Was it a copyright abuse? No, but it was some stupid automated system that was causing that. And, you know, the DMCA system works as long as copyright owners use that power in good faith. But very often they don't. And there should be, again, as Automatic says, clear legal consequences for those who choose to abuse the system. And they're urging the committee to add such penalties to DMCA to deter and punish these types of abusers. I think this is a good move by Automatic. And we're starting to deal with it now all the time. What we're dealing with now, actually, I'll save it here for an article. We'll talk about it in a few minutes. But first and foremost, underlinks. I had someone really complain to me the other day. They said, "Oh, you got that page up, but you don't have underlinks on the post, and I mean on the section." I said, "Well, it's a different color. You can tell." He says, "Well, it has to have an underlink on it." Well, Google has removed underlined links. Said goodbye to 1996. So, so if Google can remove the underlines, I can too. So I think this is good. You still have to make it so you can see that there's a link there by changing the color or something. But you know, it's time. It's time to get rid of the. We're all smart enough now. We know that there's a link there. We don't have to explain the web anymore to anyone. But that's been a long time coming. Great article over in Tech Dirt. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I'll have you guys linked up in the show notes. It talks about if you want to fix U.S. broadband competition, start by killing the state-level protectionist laws written by duopolists. Basically, the folks are trying to prevent any competition at all. So this is a good write-up. We've talked about this type of topic before. So I'm just going to cover it, just grease by it here and move on, but have it for you. This is a sad story. A Romanian man killed himself and his 4-year-old son because of malware on his computer. This is over in International Business Times. A man who found his computer infected with ransomware, demanding a payment of £13,000 or faced jail, decided to take his own life and that of his 4-year-old son. So apparently, he said in his note to his wife, he says, "I received a warning on my computer that said I have to pay £13,000 or go to prison for 11 years. The note also says, I don't think it's normal what I've done. I apologize to all of you. I don't want his son to suffer because of me. I can't stay in prison. I can't." And according to the source close to the police investigation who spoke about this, the warning came from ransomware, which infected his computer after he had visited some adult websites. Investigators believe the presence of ransomware was the reason why the guy decided to take his own life and that of his son. So maybe he didn't fully understand what was going on and what was being affected, but obviously he was embarrassed about what he had been doing online. And like I said, the computer knows more about you probably than your wife does, or your girlfriend or boyfriend. It just, I would say for most, it's probably true. But the ransomware basically gave two choices: pay a fine or face time in jail. And we know that this is being done by folks that are trying to scare, and they are doing a very good job of locking down files and demanding money in return, or they delete all your content. And he probably did not know. Now, while ransomware varies, the message typically claims to have found some illegal material on your computer, ranging from child abuse, images, to pirated films or music. So anyway, this is pretty sad that this guy had killed himself and his son over this. And can you just imagine the horror that the wife must be going through over this? But just, keep your data backed up, have a good system. I've advertised several vendors here on the show in the past. I've talked about Carbonite. I've talked about other solutions. There's multiple ways to make sure that your computer's backed up in the cloud, nice and safe, so that if you end up on a site that gets your computer infected, that you can basically slick it and recover. And if you're using a backup product like Carbonite or something similar, they do continuously updating or backing up. I got a warning from Carbonite today telling me that it had problems with a couple files. I looked at it and it said retry, and it sent them up. But that's the key. And if you've got a good backup somewhere, like Carbonite, you can recover. You can pull your data back down and not be out a little time to rebuild your machine. What I use here is I still have Windows Home Server. It backs the machine up there every night as well. So if I get a point, I just stick the DVD in a couple hours, I'm back up and running. So, just don't get too excited about these things, and don't, as long as you're backed up, you won't have to freak out. All right, Google has slashed Google Drive storage pricing, offers 1 terabyte for $9.99. Google's cutting the price of the monthly cost of extra storage. And we know that users always receive 15 gigs for free, but now they can jump to 100 gigs for $1.99, down from the previous price of $4.99. And for most of you, the appealing option 1 terabyte tier has fallen from $49.99 each month down to $9.99. So that's actually a pretty good price. So let me think about that. 1 terabyte, so it'd be $120 a year. Yeah, that's not bad. Not bad pricing at all for storage. So we use the living crap out of Google Drive, put pictures and documents, and basically just kind of a secondary workspace. It really is fantastic. All right, Lifehacker has a good article. Get another year of Amazon Prime for $79, even as a current subscriber. Of course, we know that Amazon has announced that the annual price of Amazon Prime will increase from $79 to $99 next month. And though it's still arguably the best deal in tech, it'd be nice to get one more year at low prices. So 1, disable auto-renew on your Prime account. 2, purchase a gift certificate for $79 via the link on the Lifehacker site. And 2, set it to deliver to your own email address on the day your current year of Prime lapses. So this might be a way to basically get another year for $79, or just pay the $20. For me, it's worth absolutely every penny. I bought my wife something today online. I got turned onto it by a friend of mine, and it's a very, very cool coffee grinder. My wife is going to love it. I can't tell her how much it costs. It's one of those, she'll figure it out sooner or later, but it's one of those things that she'll probably scold me for buying, but it's so cool. But I had to just get it for her. She's a coffee hound, and it's just, it's just little things once in a while, fellas, right? That it's not Mother's Day, it's not a birthday. It's just one of those things where, put it on. I'm just gonna get it, and I'm gonna stick it on the shelf, and it'll be there waiting shiny for her in the morning with coffee beans in it. And it'll be really, really nice. And it was about $200 and free shipping, and here to Hawaii. And my buddy had told me, you can just go to Macy's and get it. And I'm like, I got to drive over there, and I got to walk in, and I got to go through the store. And I just went on Amazon and picked it up for the same price and no sales tax and delivered free. So bada bing, bada boom. All right, let's talk a little bit about, I want to tie this in. Let me make sure that I've got the information here that I want to talk about. We've dealt with, over time, what we're seeing recently is we're getting a lot of emails from people saying, hey, we want you to remove this link on this site. And I get them right to Geek News Central. It's, I've done, now we're 932 podcasts, and I've got literally thousands of links on the website that link out to other sites. So the email I get is, hey, can you remove this, this link off your page? And it's just like, it looks like a takedown notice. And what it is, it's folks that are trying to basically get rid of links they think aren't healthy for them. But there's a lot of sites out there that have been doing nothing but spamming for years. And they basically go out and try to get links everywhere back to their website. And they're attempting to clean it up now because Google's been hammering those sites. And what they're saying, and what Matt Cutts is saying over at Google, he says that sites that have been notoriously spamming for years, it's going to be very, very, very difficult, if not impossible, to get back into the good graces of Google. Now, some companies hired SEO people that did all kinds of stupid things and really got them in a lot of trouble. And but with all the spam that they were putting across the web for years and a variety of junk websites, and that's really what it was junk websites that would just basically take a link and give a link. But long story short here, they have very many problems. Some of these companies have got it so bad and been hurt so bad by Google, they've had to buy new domains and just start over. There's been no way for them to fix what's been broke. But it's a good thing to do if you're ever going to buy a domain, is go out and look at the history on that domain and see if you can see where it's been used, because a lot of people then are dumping the other domain and on the market, and someone else is stuck with that issue. So be careful out there in buying domains that you do the Google history, Google search history, to find links that go to that site and make sure that they weren't spamming you. All right, a couple of our space articles here. One from space.com's got some cool astronaut pictures. I'll have that up in the show notes for you. Also, some news that SpaceX is delaying the Dragon cargo launch until March 30th. Basically, they've done some software updates, and they want to make sure everything's right, so they're delaying to March 30th. So that's the update from them. You guys hear about this this beer situation? And I don't normally ever cover an article that's on Deadspin, but this actually made national news. So hockey fans at ECHL Idaho Steelheads game are basically suing the arena because they were selling two beer sizes, one large and one small. $7 for the large beer, $4 for the small cup. That's actually pretty good for arena pricing for beer, $7. But guess what? Each cup holds exactly the same amount of liquid. That is kind of funny. The taller but thinner large size cup hold the same 16 ounces the shorter, wider, smaller one did. But boy, oh boy. So they made a viral video and they put it up on the web. And so I don't know if it was a mistake on who bought the cups, but you don't piss beer drinkers off by shortchanging them out of 4 ounces of booze and charge them $3 extra for it. So bad. All right, I found something today that made me kind of go, There's FedEx, there's UPS, there's DHL. You guys heard about Barnacle? this is really, really cool. Now you've seen those shipping wars things on TV, right? Those reality TV shows where the guys are bidding for, hauling like a statue across the country, and they always end up wrecking something. It's the total inept folks in shipping stuff. It's truly incredible. If my dad was still alive, he would be like, he'd probably love to watch the show, but call them all idiots. My dad was a master at moving heavy equipment, and we could get a lot of stuff done, and we never had the antics and issues that these folks did. But Barnacle ships your packages through regular people to save money. It's kind of like Lyft, but for your packages. Barnacle hooks up with people who drive long routes and will accept a little extra cash to deliver your package on the way. Alternatively, you can deliver packages for others and make yourself some money. All you do is sign in via your Facebook account and search for people going between you and your package destination. From there, you can offer them a fee of your choosing, and they'll accept the job if they want it. How long it'll take your package to arrive at its destination will depend on when these couriers for hire are making the trips, but from what folks could tell, it was generally less than a week. Plus, you can track the location of your package at all times through a smartphone app. So this is kind of a way to move something, save some money on packages that don't have to get there overnight or in 2 days. The service is pretty new, so only so many routes are available, but given there are quite a few already, you might be able to pick up some extra cash by moving some product around. So there's a lot of people who do long-haul driving. I know that people do all kinds of stuff. But, the question is I would be worried about is, okay, if I'm in the mainland and I'm living in Texas and they want me to take a package to Arizona and I'm going that way, how do I know that there's not dope in the package that I'm taking? How do I know that I'm not transporting drugs from across state lines or even on interstate highways where I can go to jail? That's a question I would want to know, because I could see drug traffickers using this service. Here's some schmuck that's going to take your package from A to B. I think I would almost have to have part of the deal where the package would have to be open and I'd have to see what's inside before I would take it, because you could be transporting guns, weapons, a bomb, drugs, all kinds of crazy stuff, all kinds of illegal paraphernalia, you name it. You could end up in big time trouble by, if you go to the airport, sir, is this your package? Did you package it? Yes. But, they don't ask you that on the highway. What do they do on the highway? They just, my dog just got tipped off because it smells, some sort of narcotic in your car. Can you step out of your vehicle, please? And the next thing you know, you're in handcuffs and leg irons and going to the pokey for a few years for transporting someone's weed. So there is something you would have to be careful on that type of a service. But sounds kind of cool to ship something legitimate. San Antonio City Council's okay's Google Fiber contract. So congratulations to you in San Antonio. I know we got a listener down in San Antonio. So this fantastic. Google's going to be moving forward with its network in San Antonio. So 2 cheers for San Antonio City Council making the right choice here. Hey, Microsoft has quietly killed off the Xbox 360 2-year contract plans, claiming it was an experiment. And of course, if they've killed it, it's failed. So those of you who didn't know, you could get an Xbox for $90, and then you had to basically buy 2 year of gold, a live gold subscription, something to that effect in order to get the pricing. JetBlue, haven't flown JetBlue in years, but apparently their live satellite television on JetBlue flights has been, of course, a point of pride and distinction for the airline. Live TV, which was owned by JetBlue, has now been sold to a French aerospace company. And live TV will still be on JetBlue if you're a purveyor of their services, but they will be out of the TV business. And then they did a very nice job. $400 million is what they sold it for, and they did about a 5 times. Basically, I think they paid like 60 or 70 million for it before, so they did nice profit on that. Switching up here on an article over on Ars Tech, $5 discount that was given to Time Warner cable customers to limit their unlimited data was a failure. So basically, Time Warner gave folks $5 discount if they were willing to only move 30 gigs of data each month. Very unsuccessful. The plan is going away. Over on, last show, we talked about how the FISA court decided to allow basically forcing the NSA to destroy the, phone records at the 5-year point. But they've temporarily reversed an earlier order, and basically now the court modified its stand here, and they're going to continue to retain the phone records. And I guess this continues to go on through a challenge to the Patriot Act, Section 215. So we'll hear about this more in the news as time goes on. Hey, Microsoft's come under great pressure to release Office for iPad. Apparently, Office for iPad is ready, but Microsoft is not really ready to give up their cash cow. They're afraid it's going to hurt their Office sales. I really don't think it will, but that's a primary holdup for Office for iPad. But they are definitely under major pressure at this time. The Google Flu Trend site has not done real well. We've talked about this before, but Google may be a master at data wrangling, but they have not done very well in prediction of where the flu is going to break out. A study of Google's much-hyped flu tracker has consistently overestimated flu cases in the United States for years, and so doesn't fully get the job done. So it's kind of interesting. You think they would be able to, through their massive algorithms, be able to pull that out. And I had to laugh, though, too, as there was an interview done by Tim Berners-Lee. Of course, he's the inventor of the World Wide Web. He was surprised, and something he said in his interview over the World Wide Web's 25th anniversary on March 12th. He basically said that he was surprised that the web has such an obsession with cats. Be they grumpy, heart-meltingly adorable, or musically inclined, he was astounded about the number of cats on the web. That was one of the things that he said. There is a lot of cat and dog pictures on the web. People love their cats and dogs, and they're part of the family. So, people take videos of them, of their antics. They can be pretty hilarious at times. So, shouldn't be a surprise at all. All right, California police are criticized for a Stingray cell phone tracker. This is an article over on PCWorld.com. Law enforcement agencies in California using a device that mimics cellular base stations to track mobile users. Public records have revealed, triggering charges that the practice may be unconstitutional. Oh boy, is all I can say. I'll have the link up in the show notes. It just makes you go, just a little bit. But if the local police are doing stuff to track cell phone usage, I hope that the state of California has got some strict rules in place for warrants and all that stuff. But it is kind of an interesting development on the law enforcement side that they're using those kinds of tools. I guess maybe it isn't a surprise at all, but link will be up in the show notes. If you want to see how your taxpayer dollars are being spent, for those of you that live here in the United States, Gizmodo has a great article about, he went into the Naval Research Lab, and a division of the Office of Naval Research known as SwampWorks, and they were invited to experience some pretty cool technology. Their headline on their article is, I wore the Navy's Oculus Rift, and it showed me the future of warfare. And this is kind of a cool a video in the immersion that they were able to use in this invitation type event that they had with the Navy. So pretty cool stuff. This is stuff you're probably not going to see public very often, but very cool stuff. I'll have a link up for you to take a view. iOS 8 is in work. There is some stuff on Engadget showing what the mock-up of iOS 8 looks like, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, it doesn't look any different. Looks about the same. So, I'm sure there's some telltale difference in design, but it looks pretty much like iOS 7 to me. Okay, switching gears here just a little bit. Desktop search is on the decline. They basically say an overall desktop ad spending set to decline in 2014, while mobile grows 83%. And Google's got a lot to be worried about. And we talked about this on the last show of their, basically because people are using more mobile devices and apps, and the dollars are being shifted to mobile versus being on our desktops. For desktop users, it's going to be great. Less ads and less banners and all that stuff. But definitely there is a decline, and Google's going to have to adjust for it because it's a big part of their cash flow. And let me look here. How are we doing on time? We're okay. Google slapped an update to Chrome, patches ahead of Pwn to Own Hackfest. And one of the hacks was going to be the highlights of the event showing a Chrome vulnerability. But Google has patched it just before the event. Actually, they patched 4 different things. So they've got the folks that were going to demo the hack had already won a cash award from Google, and pretty outstanding here that they were able to, I guess, get about $8,000 for their efforts on and releasing these, or basically sharing the bugs back with Chrome so that they could lock them down. Also, a big event in the space field is going to happen this coming weekend. Let me see if I can get this in here. The crowdfunding KickSat, and this is a small satellite to carry over 100 tiny satellites, is going to go into space this coming Sunday. It all began with a Kickstarter project in 2011. KickSat creator Zach Manchester will see his poker chip-sized satellites take flight when they launch from the Cape to an altitude of about 200 miles. More than 100 of the Sprite-free flying spacecraft will orbit the Earth as part of a technology demonstration. Each satellite includes a gyroscope, magnetometer, a Texas Instrument microcontroller, a radio, 2 antennas, and solar cells for power. Once the sprites are deployed from the KickSat cube set on April 1st, the system will transmit telemetry packets that can be picked up by basic ham radio equipment here on Earth. And this is going to be kind of cool. So there's a demo video on it and a little information over on Engadget. Okay, so I'm getting down here close to the end. There's a great article on Time. And this was actually written about 4 days ago. And it's a article that's entitled, "What You Think You Know About the Web is Wrong." And this is really about how websites are set up, advertising, what we're clicking on, what we're not clicking on, and how things are changing. Talking about how people are reading the web, who scrolls, who doesn't, where people are reading on web pages, where their attention is being drawn to. As I was reading through this, I was kind of shaking my head going, yep. And if you're like me, there's going to be a lot of things here that are going to hit home on you. That's going to show you how things have changed. And, I've really had to try to make blog posts that I write be a little shorter because people's attention spans aren't as long as they used to be. But still, because my site has so much media on it, because, we've got Don Bain, the Gadget Professor, we've got Langley, Robot Underpants, we've got myself doing Geek News Central, Rob and I doing the new media show. People hang on the website a long time for those that do come. My skip rates, I still have a certain number that hit the website, they're there for 15 seconds and they're gone. But I have a huge hang time on the website. And they're starting to say that pause time or dwell time, the more dwell time people spend on websites, the higher value the website should be. It's not about who's clicking, but who's dwelling. So keep dwelling, folks, as you come to the website. Dwell, hang out for a few minutes. Don't leave. Kick up some audio or some video on one of the many programs we have here. Read a little bit, and maybe we'll raise the value of Geek News Central that way. Also, if you've ever been on a United flight and your Wi-Fi craps out, there's something you should know. You're entitled to a full refund. Apparently, United's flight attendants are supposed to keep this little courtesy is a secret, but there is a little bit of an online website where you can fill out a request for a service refund. This is about in the category, the more you know, the more you'll save some money. Speaking of flying, the world's largest solar plant is blinding pilots. Well, we probably knew this was coming. The Ivanpah solar plant near Las Vegas, the massive glittering field of 170,000 garage door sized mirrors are basically causing some issues for pilots. Pilots, don't look down. Actually, they have to scan everything, so I can see where they're at certain angles are probably having some issues. And sometimes glare can be a big problem in the cockpit. It is definitely one of those things that pilots have to deal with. All right, this is cool. This is totally informational, but a 100-year-old emergency water supply put out a fire in San Francisco this week. It was a 5-alarm fire that destroyed a San Francisco apartment building this week, and it put the city's municipal water supply to the test. When water pressure began to dwindle, firefighters tapped an emergency system that was built below the city all the way back in 1913. The 6-story building under construction in the city's Mission Bay neighborhood caught fire Tuesday and raged in the night, creating a mushroom cloud that billowed above the city. Over 90 fire vehicles were called to the scene. But I'm going to stop here. They've got a very cool emergency water supply system. And when you look at what they have done here, it's pure genius. But again, many, many years ago, this was put in place. And it basically is a water system. It was designed to be able to take a shaking of an earthquake and not break. And so this is pretty cool stuff here. And they're only hydrants in certain areas, and sometimes they have to run hoses a couple blocks to get to one of these special hydrants, but they've got an incredible amount of pressure because they're gravity fed, not pump fed. So very, very cool stuff here. I'll have the link up in the show notes. You can check it out. But if you didn't know about this in San Francisco, you're going to want to check it out. And even if you don't live there, you want to read up on this as well. Target is got more bad press. Target knew about the massive hack attack. It just didn't do anything to stop. Now, this is totally insane. And people are now going to be even more mad, but thanks to a Bloomberg Businessweek exclusive, it is known now that Target could have saved itself and its 110 million affected customers billions of dollars worth of pain if it had just listened to its malware detection software alarm for the first time, or even the second, third, fourth, and fifth. Instead, Target executives stood idly by as the retail had its cause the biggest retail data breach in U.S. history. This is crazy. In testimony before Congress, Target has said that it was only after the U.S. Department of Justice notified the retailer about the breach in mid-December the company's investigator went back to figure out what happened. What it hasn't publicly revealed, forwarding computer logs, Target found Fire Eyes alerts from November 30th and more on December 2nd when hackers installed yet another version of the malware. Not only should have those alarms have been impossible to miss, they went off early enough that the hackers hadn't begun transmitting the stolen credit card data. They'd spent $1.6 million on the security software FireEye. Target decided that it probably wasn't worth the trouble to actually, use it. This is insane. Total incompetence, in my opinion, over at Target. You've got the software saying, hey, you're being hacked. You got an issue. Turn that alarm off, Joe. We don't need to hear that. 110 million customers were affected. So just didn't listen to their own systems they put in place. Stupid is, stupid does. And with that, we're going to wrap the show up tonight. And we'll go into, I don't know if I've got any email comments. Let me look. Why are you acting so slow, my computer? Very, very slow, which is scary. Got an email from Jenny. Hey, Todd, longtime fan, first time email. 5 synchronized air signs aircraft flew over South by Southwest in Austin, spelling out hundreds of characters in the infinite pi sequence across 100 miles of sky in honor of Pi Day. So that's kind of cool. The public art project is a celebration of the universal language of pi and limitless potential it represents. So air sign. So that's something that was done at South by. Dun, 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 dun. So let me see here. Let me make sure that we got everybody. Dun, dun. Okay. Did I get everyone? I think I did. I'm going through. I got to back up because I got a bunch of emails that people sent me that I can't talk about on the show, which was kind of weird. I guess that's it. That's all I had for the show tonight was just that one email. So let me know what you think about Mr. Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Facebook, calling the president of the United States and saying, hey, I don't like what's going on. You guys, you need to tell him to stop. Please. And I don't think he got the answer he was looking for. So anyway, we'll wrap the show here. Hey, become an insider, geeknewscentral.com/insider. Don't forget about our sponsor, GoDaddy, geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Get all the savings that you can. Use my codes while they're available. Share them with your friends, family members, people that you know. And we appreciate your continuing support of GoDaddy and the sponsor here. And we definitely appreciate all of you listening today or watching the show, as it may be. We'll be back with you on Monday with another edition of Geek News Central. And, of course, do not forget the new media show with Cliff Ravenscraft, the podcast Answer Man, this coming Saturday with Rob and I on the new media show, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern. Of course, the Gadget Professor had a show today. Langley put out a Robot Underpants earlier in the week. But until next time, everyone take care. We'll see you. Thanks for being here. Aloha. All right. Those of you on YouTube, we're getting ready to shut down the recordings. Yeah, but I got to stop some other stuff first. All right. Let me go back to this. Spitballs, thanks for hanging. And let me load this page. And we'll refresh it because it always says I'm... All right, that was good. Okay, YouTube, see you later.